Hello, this is Rona. I just want to say hi to everybody today. Um, I've enjoyed talking with you all each day. I hope you all enjoy listening, watching. Um, I do have a specific topic to talk about today, um, and it's goes along with the nervous breakdown like I had 6 years ago. It's excuse me, agoraphobia. I haven't mentioned that yet, but that's a big one, and it came with my nervous breakdown. I was terrified to go anywhere, and I just had to make myself, pray and make myself get in the car with Mama and to go to my therapist and order my doctor appointment because back then I couldn't drive after it happened first happened. Sorry, my voice is not back to normal, but that's a huge thing. People don't understand it. They'll say, just go, already or something. Of course, Mom never did. She has always been supportive and understanding. Bless her heart. She's a wonderful person. But it's a fear. It comes from anxiety. That comes from the trauma that you suffered and the PTSD. It's not something you can really explain to anybody unless they've been around somebody that's going through it or has gone through it. But it's not anything to be ashamed of. You just have to do the best you can to work through it. And, you know, this was 6 years ago. So I had a fear after I overcame with help from my therapist and the Lord and my mama. I overcame the agoraphobia. And I was then my next step, I was okay to go into my doctor's office or my therapist's office. But the next step was I had a huge fear of going into stores, especially big stores. Um, and I just wouldn't. I couldn't. And we adopted. Mother took me to a local veterinarian. I'd put on Facebook that I was looking for a small breed dog or puppy to adopt, And we uh, found Libby, and I'm so thankful for that. Um, she was about a year old when we found her. She's a rescue, and I was able to. I certified her or had her registered as my service dog for therapy, and there was no special training. I thought there'd be some big rigmarole to go through to get her certified, but she comforts me and she knows when I am having an anxiety attack, which I don't have them like I used to, but back then, yeah, it was quite often. But she would know when to comfort me. Um, it's amazing the instincts that animals have. My cat, Big Jake, also does that. All of a sudden he'll just show up on beside me on the bed or in the chair, and he likes to get up on my chest and just lay there for a few minutes and look at me, and then he gets settles down in my lap, and that's so comforting. So, uh, pardon me. My first trip into a big store was well. I was very anxious, but I took Libby with me, and she had on her red service dog and had all the papers. You have to have all these papers from your therapist and doctor and everything, and her updated rabies shots and all that, and her shots. But um, I put her up in the buggy with me. Well, first, I put her up in the buggy but because I stayed right with the buggy, I was still having problems. And of course, Mother was there, and it was a big craft store, I believe it was, because we used to love to do crafts, and I did pretty good till we got in the back of the store, and the aisles were kind of narrow there, and I did better out. I just told them I had to get out into the open part, the big aisle down the middle of the store. But Libby helped me a lot, so I highly recommend adopting a rescue uh, cat or dog to help you with your anxiety, and you can register them online. It's not that involved a process to be your service animal, and that was something I found out, and it really helped me. And of course, now with this shutdown and everything, I never have felt comfortable in the big stores, but I could before the shutdown, I could go in smaller stores like a pharmacy or something like that. And I was real pleased with that. I didn't have to take Libby. So it improves. It does improve. But you got to do what you have to do to get to that point. And don't be ashamed about it, you know. Because when you have a nervous breakdown, you go through many emotions, many things come up that you never would have thought you'd go through. But a service animal is just wonderful. And like I said, she knows even now when I'm not feeling good or I get nervous about something, she just comforts me right away. They can just sense it. It's amazing. It's a big blessing uh, from God. Libby and Jake, Big Jake, are, and of course my mother. God bless her. What a strong woman she is. But the fears do get easier. I haven't had the agoraphobia one. I don't dread right now because I just go to the same places, my doctor, or we drive through, the pharmacy or whatever. And now that I can drive without fear, that's good. But I just wanted to let you know it's nothing to be ashamed of. Any of these fears or anxieties, you can get help from a therapist. That's very important. Get help. I say that a lot, but it's so important. You can't do this alone. You cannot go through a trauma or a personal tragedy or collapse like I did by yourself. Uh, Look to God, of course. Uh, you couldn't do anything without God. And reach out to your doctor if you don't know of a therapist, and just ask them because they'll know. Because they'll know your personality if you've been to them a while, and they'll suggest a good one. Mine sure did. My therapist helped me a lot. But I guess that's what I wanted to tell you today. And the anxiety gets less, and I know how to handle my anxiety, panic attacks. So I'm having a lot less panic attacks now. And, things get brighter. It doesn't look like it right now if you just are going through it right now. I know that. Honey, I was right there. I just was hopeless. I didn't understand why it happened. And I talked to God all the time anyway. And I just could not understand why it happened. And also, one thing about it, you find out who your friends are. Had a lot of people that just, well, I wear my heart on my sleeve anyway. People's told me all my life I'm too sensitive, but that's the way I'm made. I cannot help that. It goes both ways. I'm trying to be sensitive on how I treat other people too, but I I absorb other people's energy, if that makes sense. I always have since I was little, and sometimes that can be harmful. Mother says that's one of the reasons that I had my collapse. But I mean, she wouldn't blame me or anything. She knows I've always been that way. But I absorb the good energy, which is wonderful from other people. But um, the the bad energy and the stress, which there was a lot of stress in the latter years at my job at the police department. It was just the nature of the different job that I had. When you work at a police department, it's different from any job you've ever had in your life. And there was a lot of stress. It's just the nature of the job. And you absorb so much, and buddy, you're going to go down. And of course, some other traumas I haven't mentioned that I've suffered outside of the job added to it. And once you have a nervous breakdown or a trauma, I was told, and I do believe this, you relive all the other traumas. But the main thing is reach out to someone, and you will be able to get out if this lockdown ever lets up. But you will be able to get out again and shop and do what you need to do. It will come back to you. It's not the end of the line. So don't give up. Look up, look inside yourself. You'll find you have more courage than you ever thought possible. And the fear will just melt away and you'll have peace. Inner peace is such a gift and such a blessing. And until you have it taken away, you just don't appreciate the peace of mind. I sure do. But also, one little thing I wanted to mention here. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. I can have samples sent to you if you would like to try the CBD oil, samples in 3 flavors, the CBD coffee, and the hair care, and the botanical scents. I can get those samples to you if you want to just leave a comment or shoot me an email at ronamax1@gmail.com. I think I did again about the banner. Let's see here. Yep. I'm still learning. But these podcasts make me feel like I might be helping somebody, because I do believe we were put here on earth to help other people. I always like to help other people. I just hadn't been able to, after this happened. And this, I'm doing this now, and it makes me feel good. I might reach somebody. I know I don't have that many viewers yet, but who knows? Maybe someday. But my email is going across the screen there here in a minute. ronamax1@gmail.com. RONAMAX and the number 1@gmail.com. Or if you just want to ask me a question about what I've gone through, if you want to compare notes with me on what you're going through, if you just need somebody to communicate with about it. That's important to know that you're not alone going through this. I'm not an expert. I'm not a therapist, but I went through it, and I could certainly compare notes with you and maybe give you some encouragement. And that's very important to know you're not alone. But God loves you, and I hope you have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.